Tonight's meeting of the Hammond Plan Commission. If you would please rise with me and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Will Ms. Morris-Smith please call the roll?
Roger Brock.
Here.
Dean Button.
Here.
Michael Dye.
Here.
Ann Herbert. William Hutton.
Here.
Thomas Kazmierzak.
Here.
Dan Spitali.
Here.
Sharon Zaney. Marcus Taylor.
You're on mute, Marcus. Yep.
Oh, there's Marcus. There he is.
7 present. We have a quorum.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is approval of the meeting minutes for April 17th, 2023. Board, you should have received in your packet a copy of those draft minutes for your consideration. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve?
Second.
Commissioner Dye had made a motion, seconded by Councilman Spitali. Is there any discussion on the meeting minutes? Any discussion? Any discussion? Roll call on the motion.
Roger Brock.
Yes.
Michael Dye.
Yes.
William Hutton.
Yes.
Thomas Kazmierzak.
Yes.
Dan Spitali.
Yes.
Marcus Taylor.
Yes.
Dean Button.
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays. Motion passed.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is item 4, old business. Is there any old business?
There is no old business.
Thank you, Mr. Poland. Item 5, new business, is item CP 23-07, a petition of Pipeline Realty Indiana LLC for a one-lot subdivision known as Old Pullman Standard Plant Second Edition to the City of Hammond in an I-2 manufacturing district located at 1342 and 1435 Field Street within the City of Hammond. I'd ask Mrs. Morris-Smith if the public notifications have been sent.
Yes, they have.
Thank you very much. And invite the petitioner to give a presentation. If you could identify yourself, please, and make a presentation to the commission.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is James Yanakopoulos. I'm with the local law firm of Karansky, Bauer, and Paraki. I represent the petitioner, Pipeline Realty-Indiana, LLC. My understanding is that we've been working together with the engineering team at Teranga to provide you with the appropriate documentation required for this petition. My client previously owned 2 separate parcels and acquired a third parcel directly adjacent to it to the north. We're simply asking to consolidate those 3 parcels into a 1-lot subdivision, which would then allow us to merge perhaps some of the improvements, consolidate some issues, and make other additional improvements to the property located to the north. But prior to doing anything that would require permits or anything like that, we thought it appropriate to come before this commission, obtain the proper consolidation of the lots into a 1-lot subdivision. There are some easements on the property. Those easements will remain intact. And there's also a new landscaping easement established in the northwest corner of the consolidated property. And the landscape easement area is about 1.878 acres and provides a buffer to the Pullman Standard residential neighborhood and existing pavement parking lot for the former Hammond Group portion. The former Hammond Group portion is the portion that we acquired to the north. I'd be happy to address any questions or issues. My understanding is everything appears to be in order, but we're always here to answer any questions that you may have.
Questions to Mr. Yankopoulos from the commissioners? Anyone in the commission have any questions for the petitioner? Okay, thank you, sir. I appreciate your opportunity to speak and clarify the action plan for today.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Brian, is there anything we need to do before the public hearing?
No.
Okay. So at this point, public notices went out to the residents in the area and give them an opportunity to speak on this particular subject. And so at this time, I'd open up the meeting to a public hearing to hear if there's any conditions that the neighbors have to present it to the Plan Commission at this time. So if you would like to speak, this would be your opportunity to speak. You could come forward, please sign in at the lectern here, and then give us your name and address, and you can address the commission, please.
Yes, my name is Melba Miller, and I live at 6130 Willard Road. And I was just wondering, on this lot, what are you all planning on putting on the lot? Can you tell me that?
Ma'am, you have to direct the
Oh, I'm
question to the
sorry,
Plan Commission.
sorry.
Yeah, so we'll take public comment, and
Okay.
then we'll close the public hearing, and then we'll give the petitioner an opportunity to respond to your comments at that time.
Okay.
So,
Okay, sorry about that.
no, you're fine. Is that all the
That's
comment
it.
that you have? Just what's going on at the?
Yes, just want
okay.
to know what's going on.
Wonderful, okay.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else in the audience that wishes to make a public comment to the commission? And if so, would you please sign in with your name and address and state your name for the record?
Good evening. My name is Adrian Blackman. My address is 1335 Field Street, Hammond, Indiana, 46320. And I had the same concern about what's about to take place in that area because I am on that corner of Fields and Willard.
Okay, wonderful.
Okay?
Yep,
Thank you.
perfect. Anyone else in the audience wanting to make a public comment? Seeing none, is there, open up the opportunity, if there's anyone on our virtual link that has wants to make a comment or in support or in opposition to the petition? Seeing none, close the public hearing portion of the meeting, and we invite the petitioner back up to address the comments that were raised during the public hearing.
To address the comments of and questions of Ms. Miller and Ms. Blackman, my client, Pipeline Realty Indiana LLC, is a landholding entity that's related to Texas Pipe and Supply Company. Texas Pipe and Supply Company currently operates its facilities to the existing property to the south. It is a company that is headquartered in Houston, Texas, but here locally is a distributor of carbon and stainless steel line pipe. The company recently purchased a property to the north in anticipation that would probably be expanding its operations. So what we can anticipate is, I don't think that there's going to be any heavy industrial uses. It's really just storing pipes and perhaps consolidating or expanding some of the office building. Things are up in the air as to exactly how the layout will occur, but basically what you see at the current facility to the south, you can just anticipate to the upcoming new facility to the north with storage of pipes and using that facility to store the pipes, which they then use to distribute throughout the area.
Thank you. Any questions for the petitioner?
Yes, Mr. President.
Sure. Commissioner Dye.
So a question in regards to the additional storage. Will there be additional truck traffic since you're expanding the operation of the material coming in and going out?
There may be minimal additional truck traffic, but my understanding is that truck traffic should continue to be funneled through the current entrances. So I don't think that truck traffic should impact negatively the existing residential neighborhoods to the west of our property.
And then you said they're going to basically duplicate what's already there I haven't been on the site myself, but is that outdoor storage or indoor storage?
I believe they have a combination of both. They have a very large warehouse facility, and they do have blacktop asphalt also used as outdoor storage as well. So
Okay.
you can anticipate probably a continuation of both of those types of storage methods.
All right. Thank you, sir. That's all I have.
Thanks, Commissioner Dye. Point of question for Mr. Poland. If, and I think I know the answer, but if the petitioner wanted to change the use of the parcel, he would need to come before the Plan Commission and make an application to change the use of the property from something other than what it currently is being used as. Is that true? I'm sort of trying to help the questionnaire, the folks that ask questions, what specifically they could expect if anything changed.
As long as they are doing something that is permitted in the I-2 zoning district, they are allowed to do that without coming to the Plan Commission. And there's been no information provided to us that they are doing anything different than what they currently are doing on their current property. When they expand to the additional property, we've anticipated, we were provided information in the beginning that they were going to have some outdoor storage, and that is different than what's currently going on the new parcel that they added. And we've explained that if they are going to do the outdoor storage, that would be a matter as a conditional use to the Board of Zoning Appeals, which would be another notification procedure and a different body that would address that. In anticipation of what the zoning requirements are for outdoor storage adjacent to residential neighborhoods, there are certain landscape setbacks that are required for outdoor storage. So on this subdivision plat, as was indicated, there is a landscape easement area that is along Wallace Road, Willard Avenue, I'm sorry, whatever, Wallace. There's a landscape easement on that west side of that property, and that is greater than what the zoning requires, and that is something that the petitioner offered that they would create that easement area, and that the details of that would be subject to the Board of Zoning Appeals review of the conditional use for the outdoor storage.
Thank you, Mr. Poland. And that was Willard for the record.
Yeah, I was getting confused, but it is Willard Avenue, yes.
Thank you. Any other questions? Commissioner Kazmierczak.
Just clarification, on the report from the engineering company, it says that the parcels are owned by Pipeline Realty. Then at the bottom, it says that this is contingent on the approval and the purchase of the parcel. Is there,
I'm sorry, where were you saying that?
right on the bottom here,
The engineer's report.
so right below where it lists the parcels, it says they're owned, but then the very last sentence
Well,
says it's contingent on the purchase.
I think you have to kind of look at the fact that the letter that was written is dated July 17th, and that the company did go ahead and purchase that property.
Okay.
When we originally filed the petition, we were under contract, but the client decided to close. It might make things easier since they own all three parcels now as well.
Okay.
So that there was a change probably, and that change is now reflected in the fact that the ownership is now unified by the same owner.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any other questions for the petitioner? Okay, hearing none, thank you very much. We'll now move on to the staff review and determination.
So as indicated, this is a one-lot consolidation of 3 tax parcels. One of those is already subdivided as a part of the old Pullman Standard Plant original addition. So this is the second addition to consolidate that property into the larger lot. I've already indicated that the landscape easement on the property is is anticipating what the Board of Zoning Appeals is going to require for the setback requirements for any of the outdoor storage. One of the things that came up in reviewing all of the current tax parcels is that there was an address that was being used by Texas Pipe on their current parcel was in conflict or out of sequence of what was assigned to them, and the fact that this was adding in property that was given an address of 1435 Field Street. So, and this property is actually kind of straddles the 1300 and 1400 block, and so one of the things that we've done based on, reviewing where the block line cuts through the property, we have assigned an address of 1424 Field Street for the consolidated property, somewhat reflective that most of the buildings currently that exist are south, on the south side of what would be Field Street that would be extended, if Field Street was extended through the property. The second thing to comment is that there was earlier discussion of potentially dedicating a segment of where Field Street technically ends at the east side of
Willard.
Sorry?
Willard Avenue?
Yeah. And that there's a different proportion of Willard that comes up from the south off of Kenwood Street, and there's a cul-de-sac that is pretty much becoming the primary entrance to the current Texas Pipe facility. But based on discussions that we were not going to accept the dedication, and that there still is an underlying access easement that serves that property to make that connection between the two segments of the segment of Field Street with the segment of Willard. Just for background purposes, the reason that Willard Avenue was constructed in about 25 years ago in this area, and the cul-de-sac was specifically done to make sure that the truck traffic stays off of Field Street. And that is partially an underlying reason, at least in my view, not the city engineer's view. My reason is that that's why we don't want to have those two street segments connected to each other, because that may cause some confusion. So we do expect that the user of the property will go through the cul-de-sac and exit out all the way through Kenwood. And we have no objection to employees' cars. We have more on Field Street. We have more of an objection of the trucks and making sure that they exit out through, basically going by Cintas to get out to Field Street. Excuse me, get out to Cintas, get to Kenwood Street, and get to Columbia. So I just want to, point that out on the record. But nonetheless, needless to say, the subdivision plat has been sent out for review agency. NIPSCO Gas did not respond, but all the other review agencies that did not have any objections or concerns. Staff's opinion is the plat meets the requirements set forth in the subdivision control ordinance and recommends for preliminary and final approval of the subdivision plat subject to Texas Pipe completing the change of address for its property, the utility service providers, etc. If the Plan Commission agrees with the staff report, it is requested that the staff report is adopted as the findings of fact.
Commissioners, any questions to Mr. Poland regarding his report? So you have before you a subdivision plat of consolidating of existing lots for your consideration. So the chair would entertain a motion to accept preliminary and final approval of the subdivision plat subject to Texas Pipe completing the address change for its property, utility service providers, et cetera. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve?
Thank you, Commissioner Dye. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Spitali. Moved and properly seconded to approve preliminary and final approval of the subdivision plat and the balance of that motion. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Roll call on the motion.
Roger Brock?
Yes.
Michael Dye?
Yes.
William Hutton?
Yes.
Thomas Kazmierzak?
Yes.
Dan Spitali?
Yes.
Marcus Taylor?
Yes.
Dean Button?
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays, 0 abstentions, motion passed.
So the chair would also entertain a motion to accept the staff report as adopted as a finding of fact.
Mr. President, I make a motion to accept the staff report as adopted as findings of fact.
Thank you,
I
Commissioner Dye, seconded by Commissioner Taylor. Is there any discussion on the motion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Roll call on the motion.
Roger Brock?
Yes.
Michael Dye?
Yes.
William Hutton?
Yes.
Thomas Kazmierzak?
Yes.
Dan Spitali?
Yes.
Marcus Taylor?
Yes.
Dean Button?
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays, 0 abstentions, motion passed.
Thank you. Thank you to the petitioner. Congratulations, and thank you to the public for coming to make comment. We appreciate your presence. It's not often that we get folks from the public, so we appreciate you being here. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, there are no other items listed as new business under our agenda, so I will move on to correspondence.
No correspondence.
Thank you. Next item is item 7, commissioner comments. Any comments from the commissioners? Seeing none, staff comments.
I'm still waiting to find out whether or not we're going to have something at the September agenda. I'll certainly know hopefully by the end of this week.
Thank you, Mr. Poland. Next item is item 9, public comment. Wondering if anyone would like to address the Plan Commission for any other purpose. Anyone in the audience or anyone online wishing to address the Plan Commission? Hearing none, item 10 is a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
Thank you, Commissioner Dye.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Hutton.
Thank you.
Moved and properly seconded to adjourn the meeting. Is it all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, motion carries. We're adjourned.